I'll be right back. That would be awful. Okay, I didn't get you water. I took this from my office, but I got you a lozenge. Do you need water too? You want water too? Oh, you have one. Do you want me to get you water?
No, I'm fine. Thank you.
I didn't realize I was
Really can't. I couldn't hear you, but
That's okay. I'm not saying anything you need to hear.
okay.
I'll give this to them after. They want an invitation to come.
your microphone is way up. I'm not sure if that's what you want.
I didn't. Oh, you mean up here?
Yeah, probably just for the rehearsal you moved it up, right?
That's right, Barbara. That's what Barbara tells everyone. She tells them she's going to give double. They're happy. That's what she tells them. She's so cute. She's bringing like 10 people.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And welcome. Of course, tonight we are given the opportunity to commemorate Kristallnacht, remember essentially the beginning of the Holocaust. It also coincides in our calendar with Veterans Day, and so we also take some time to think about the devotion and sacrifice made by so many Americans. And in a way, there's a connection with these two moments in time. I think that idea of dedication and a reminder of how important the values that we love and cherish are. And so, of course, we also have Shabbat. And so we do celebrate, even in the midst of this remembering and commemorating. And so we turn to page 142 in our prayer books and begin by welcoming Shabbat with Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. B'chuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Setzchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Going right into a Shabbat Shalom?
Yeah.
Page is that on? We turn to page 517. As part of our Kristallnacht service over the past couple of years, we've added the prayer for the state of Israel. Of course, we include it every Shabbat, but we put it here at the beginning, leading into the commemoration with the 6 candles. Maybe it needs to be there from now on because of October 7th. And so we continue now with the prayer for the state of Israel.
Avinu, Avinu, Shebashamayim, Tzu Yisrael v'goalo. Avinu, Avinu, Shebashamayim, Tzu Yisrael v'goalo. Baruch, Baruch, et Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Tzmichat Gulatenu, Hagen בעברת חסדך ופרוס עליה סוכת שלומך. אבינו, אבינו שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו. אבינו, אבינו שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו.
And together in English. O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. Page 522. We kindle these lights in memory of the 6 million Jews murdered by the Nazis and their collaborators. May the memory of the righteous be for a blessing. Zichronam livracha.
And a well-known song. The words were written by Chana Senesh in 1942, and the music was set to her words in 1945, shortly after she was murdered.
We turn back in our prayer books to page 121. As before we could light the Shabbat candles, we kindle these other lights as we welcome Shabbat in with the kindling of the Shabbat lights.
We invite Karen to come up and light the Shabbat candles. Good idea. read this? Yeah.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which we live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter the sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat shalom. And a well-known Yiddish song from Europe, from Eastern Europe, and actually it was the first song that my father learned from his grandfather, both Holocaust survivors. And those who've been at some of my concerts have heard my dad sing it with me and my daughter join us. Not this year for the 70s concert though. Oif in Pripyat brennt a fire und in Stubis heiß und der Rebel in Kleider kinderlich dem Aleph Beis und der Rebel in Kleider kinderlich dem Aleph Beis Zesche kinderlich gedenk Tayera was ihr lernt do Zoch nach amol und Tage nach amol kommt Aleph O Zoch nach amol und Tage nach amol kommt Aleph O by the fireside where the embers glow through the wintry days. There the teachers softly with the younger ones chants the Aleph Beis. There the teachers softly with the younger ones chants the Aleph Beis. Zeshe kinderlich gedenk Tayera was ihr lernt do Zoch nach amol und Tage nach amol kommt Aleph O Zoch nach amol und Tage nach amol kommt Aleph O. My niece was singing it with me.
So beautiful. And such a reminder of the way that we have valued education in that soft, gentle way to children. And we see evidence of that going back all the way to the Torah, that emphasis is still there. And it's just, I hope and pray all of us have had, as you described, your learning this and your father learning this, have had some connection with Jewish learning that was gentle and loving at some point in your life.
Page 146, we rise with the Baruch Hu. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. And our meditation leading us right into the Shema.
seated as we continue on page 154 with the chanting of Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בהם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem
אמת.
Emet. A quick reading before we enter into the prayer, asking God to provide us with a peaceful and restful night's sleep, to wake up, to bring more peace into the world. I'm reminded at this moment of a quote by Viktor Frankl, who reflected upon his experiences as a Nazi concentration camp prisoner, including time spent at Auschwitz. He concluded that humanity basically can be divided into two races, and I quote, "From all this we may learn that there are two races of people in the world, but only these two, the race of the decent and the race of the indecent." We continue with the prayer for peace. Ahashkivenu.
For the tefillah on page 164, call and response. Adonai,
Adonai,
sifatai tiftach,
Sifatai tiftach,
ufi yagi, tehilatecha, Adonai,
Adonai,
open up my lips, that my mouth, may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה, אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל, אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופך חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
We enter into a moment of silent meditation. I leave us with these words as we each enter into our own space. And you may be seated, by the way. These words, of course, from Anne Frank. In spite of everything, I still believe people are good at heart. Before services, I handed out a copy of this prayer I know not everyone got a copy, but it is meant for our veterans to hear, and as long as enough of us read, we will hear this. And of course, the veterans who are joining us in person, online, and all of those maybe who we know of in our lives who have spent precious time in their lives devoting their lives to keeping the rest of us safe. Of course, we join in this prayer of appreciation. We are grateful for all our veterans who serve and have served our country with selfless devotion in peace and in war, from fields of battle to clinics and classrooms, from government to the grassroots, all those whose noble deeds and sacrifice benefit our nation and our world. Let their actions inspire every citizen to take responsibility for the rights and freedoms we cherish. And let us be always thankful for the rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness that our founders ascribed to you, our God. May we be guardians of these rights for ourselves and the sake of all people, now and forever. And let us say,
Amen.
Amen. This is the time for communal prayers in our service. And of course, we also join at this moment in a prayer for those who are ill in the Misha Berach prayer. Before we say the prayer together, we invite everyone, if you so choose, to speak names aloud of those you are thinking of at this time. We'll start with those who are joining us in person. Go ahead, Barbara. Phyllis. Anise. Sandy. Elliot. Susan. Yes, Lynn. Alyssa. Alicia. Peggy. Barbara. Lynn. Yes. Yes, Paul. Joseph Schwartz. Philip. Anita. Stan. Susan. Carol. Lynch. And Eric.
Bracha Chaya Bat Gidol.
And thank you, Cantor. Anyone else on Zoom who would like to share through the chat or just unmute yourselves, please go ahead.
Michael Goldsmith, thank you.
You're welcome, Barbara.
Can you hear me? It's Susan.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I have a list with Trudy Merton Brown, and for Misha Bera, I have my close friend, and I'm very sorry that I have to have her for Shloshim. I just, she passed away in the last few days, and she's my best friend's sister, and I had been saying her name for Misha Bera, and I have to move her, unfortunately, to Shloshim, and I find that very upsetting. I also have my elementary school friend, Susan Crystal, and I have to move her to Shloshim. And I just wanted to share, that's very difficult.
We're sorry, Susan.
We also include Miriam Leah, David Scott Cohen, Sandy Cohen, Jared, Gary, Ruth, Yitka Gracia Batsara, Debbie Jaffe Ellis, Marsha Colton, David and Chie, Eberhard Rom, Mark Ketchel, Paul, Elise, Eileen Nolan, Arlene Terso, David Ben Yitzchak Halevi, Gerald Kaplan, Loretta Goldberg, David Stone, Wendy Stone. And we, of course, still include all of those who were held captive as hostages for so long and are recovering. We include them in our prayers as well. As we now turn to page 371 and continue with the Misha Berach prayer for healing. We continue now with a little study into our Torah reading. This week's Parshat Vayera, beginning with Genesis 18. Pivotal moment in the evolution of the understanding of what it means to be Jewish. We are seeing this through the actions of essentially the first Jewish people, Abraham and Sarah. And so we can read an opening verse or two, but first let us study with the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Vayera alav Adonai be'elonei mamre, v'hu yashev b'petach ha'ohel kachom hayom. God appeared to Abram by the terebinths of Mamre, as Abraham was sitting at the entrance of the tent of meeting, as the day grew hot, the hottest part of the day, as opposed to being with the flaps closed, but with the tent open. In other words, not trying to keep out the heat. But for some reason, Abram is sitting by the opening of the tent, and looking up, he sees three individuals standing not too far away. And as soon as he sees them, he runs towards them. Abraham, at this point, is 99 years old. He runs from the entrance. In other words, he was sitting at the entrance, not to keep himself cool in the center of the tent, the flaps closed, but open, waiting to see if there was someone in need. And he runs to greet them, and bowing to the ground, he says to them, "My sirs, if it please you, do not go on past me, your servant." Fascinating. This passage reminds us of this concept in Judaism of not waiting if you see need. In fact, looking out for it and running towards it to help. Think about that. Think about how that has been part of our DNA ever since. If we see some issue, we say something, we do something. We don't just sit back and let it happen. And Abraham begins that. Now, I take that lesson as I introduce our speaker for tonight. Well, because as I told him before services, he kind of reminds me of Abraham, our speaker. Our speaker is Dr. Richard Quinlan. And you might be wondering how he reminds me of Abraham. Well, first let me give you a little bit about his background. And I'm sorry, the computer is... So, after graduating from Franklin and Marshall College as an English major, Rich, as he likes to be called, has earned 3 master's degrees in secondary English education, political science, and history from Long Island University, the Post Campus. In 2019, Rich joined the staff of Mercy College in the Bronx as adjunct professor of both American and modern European history. Rich graduated in August of 2021 with a PhD in Holocaust and Genocide Studies from Gratz College in Elkins Park, Pennsylvania. His dissertation addressed the need for transitional justice and reconciliation in post-genocidal Burundi. Dr. Quinlan is currently the director of the Center for Holocaust and Genocide Studies at St. Elizabeth University, and he is scholar in residence of Temple Judea of Manhasset. Here's the thing. You can come up. Here's the thing that you should know. For, I would say, decades by now, Rich has been educating students of all different ages by running to them and making sure they are aware of what's actually happening in the world, bringing that help to them by opening their eyes, opening our minds, and helping us see what we must see. And so I thank you for being Abraham-like, and thank you for being here with us tonight to teach us and educate us. Please come forward.
Shabbat Shalom. You know, when I woke up this morning, It's pretty safe to say that maybe the last thing I was expecting was to be compared to Abraham in any possible way, especially anything having to do with running, especially at 99. I hope I'm still there doing that. But tonight is a real honor, as it is for me always, to speak here. It is truly so meaningful to me to be with all of you. And when we think about the lessons and the legacy of Kristallnacht, we have to understand the use of propaganda, of lies, and manipulation. And sadly, we see that only exacerbated today through a digital media. The Nazis understood in the 1930s that the radio was the most effective form of communication, and they insisted that radios were made so cheaply that every home would have one. And so when a low-level Nazi official in Ernst von Roth was murdered and given a full state funeral, a speech given by Goebbels, the nation heard that. The Nazis made it clear that now violence was going to become acceptable. And they based that violence on a lie. They based that violence on tropes that we still tragically fight against today. And we think about the power of the platform of social media, especially for young people. Because when we think about what social media was supposed to do, it was supposed to bring us together. It was supposed to unify us. We could share information, intellectualism. We could connect with people from around the world. And to a certain degree, that is true. But we've also seen it used in the most nefarious of ways. We've watched it fall into the hands of those who only want to use it to bring hate, to bring harm, to bring division. But we can't let that divide us. Because everyone in here, every person listening, every person who cares, has a responsibility and has the ability to push back on what we are seeing. We know that the lies of anti-Semitism have tragically existed for centuries. They've evolved. They've evolved to now fit a digital world. They may sound a little bit different. We may hear phrases like anti-globalist, anti-elitist. And suddenly those phrases are wrapped up in memes and in jokes. And for those particularly who are young, without enough of a worldview, without a broad enough understanding, may not fully understand or comprehend what they're reading. And they begin to repeat it. And then as things become repeated, they become familiar. The familiar becomes comfortable, and comfortable becomes the truth. And so we live in a world in which we know that anything that is online lives forever. And we have to make sure that we are working together to properly educate people, to understand the significance, the seriousness of what they are seeing and posting online. And how do we do it? Well, there's a number of ways that we can actually push back, because what social media companies have figured out, and this is actually scientific, the idea behind social media today is that you get engaged or I should say you get enraged in order to engage. You see something you hate and you want to fire back. There is a new book that came out just last month, and it's actually called The Science of Revenge. It's written by a Yale researcher named James Kimmel, not Jimmy, like it's very confusing, but James Kimmel. And he said that when we engage in some kind of action of revenge, our brains work as if we're on drugs. It releases a sense of dopamine. We get addicted to revenge. So we can actually find ourselves getting addicted to fighting with people online. But of course, as we know, you could then spend an hour, 90 minutes, 2 hours fighting with someone online who actually isn't a person. You've just fought for 2 hours with a bot. So what do? Because there's a real sense that, well, it's just the online world. It's not real. I mean, most people aren't thinking about social media on a day-to-day basis. Well, then we see Robert Bowers, who was self-radicalized through social media, entered the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh in 2018, screaming, "All Jews must die," as he committed mass murder. So we can't pretend that it's just the online world. The online world, both literally and figuratively, bleeds into the real world. Social media has given old hatred new faces. It's dressed itself up to meet the needs of a young digital world. And so, we know how prejudice spreads. We know how propaganda works. We've all seen it. We know what it looks like. We know what it feels like, particularly since October 7th. And we all have responsibilities. But the great question is, and this is a daunting question, people ask very, very often, well, what can I do? I'm just one person. Well, the rabbi said it beautifully just a few moments ago. We run towards that fight. Silence is not neutrality. Silence is only complicity. When you see it, you report it. You do something. You say something. You acknowledge that it's there. And in our own ways, every single one of us, even something as small as just reporting hate, it sounds like such an incidental thing, but it's something. And there are broader responses to this. I'm fascinated by actually what's going on right now in Finland. Finland has a program of digital education. Starting in 2nd grade, students are taught how to recognize lies online, how to recognize disinformation. We can do that. Why can't we incorporate that into American education? Our students get so much of their information digitally. Let's teach them to use it effectively. I don't want to be the old guy who hates social media and thinks it's a scourge. There's a lot of positive to it if it's melded and molded in a way that allows it to be positive. What about the idea that every single one of us can be here and we can actually build relationships offline? I tell people this all the time, and there are certainly other individuals far more skilled than I who say the same thing. You want to know how to actually avoid running into so much hate online? Well, number one, take a break from being online, but if you're not going to do that, go through your feed. Who are you following? Who are you listening to? What's coming into your feed? And then unfriend, unfollow, do whatever you need to do to get rid of that. Shockingly and somewhat unnervingly, I've had to do that for people on LinkedIn. That's not exactly TikTok, but it's there. And it's been healthy. We need to hold people accountable. Now, here's the great question. We are here partially today also honoring veterans. We know this country has unlimited freedoms in ways that other nations could never imagine. We have the First Amendment, and it is cherished rightfully. And there's always that debate between freedom of expression and censorship. But why can't we hold online or tech companies more responsible for what's on their platforms? If you wonder if there's an answer to that, actually there is. And believe it or not, it's all the way back from 1996. There was something called the Communications Decency Act, passed in 1996. And there's one little section, just one little paragraph, paragraph 230, that says all, as they used to be called, internet companies, would not be held responsible for anything that is posted on their platforms by their users. Now, at the time, the largest concern were AOL chat rooms. There are people in here who probably have to Google what an AOL chat room is. We're in a very different digital age now. But I mean, car manufacturers have to have a certain level of safety to every single vehicle they produce. Why can't we ask the same thing of online companies? That's not censorship, that's actually protecting people. But if that's not going to happen, then every single one of us have to work to create our own guardrails. We have to work to create our own online safety. We have to be the educators. We have to be the people out in front who understand that, yes, there is positive in this, but let's push back in a very significant way against those that what we don't like. And I can tell you, I work with college students every single day, and college students sometimes get a bad reputation. But from the people I see, the students I work with every single day, they want to make things better. And they say things to me like, we don't even understand why politicians are on social media. What are they doing? That's coming from 18, 19-year-olds. They want to see a very different world. They don't like the tone. They don't like the language. They don't like the nature of how we communicate with each other. So I am here to tell you there is hope. And if you hold on to that and run towards the problem, that combination brings about real change. Now again, sadly, we're never going to fully eliminate hate, but we have the potential to marginalize it to such a degree that it no longer infects the mainstream. And the possibilities are out there. The choices are there. It's up to every single one of us. And the fact that you are here, the fact you are listening to me, the fact that you care, the fact that you are understanding the seriousness of this means that all of us in this room and everyone online are the people who are going to participate in bringing about that change. I live to work with young people. They keep me energized. I don't know if we're going to make it to 99 years old like Abraham, but they keep me energized, they keep me youthful, and most of all, they keep me optimistic. And that's where it lies. The optimism is there, the hope is there, and the real change can be made. And I know every single person in this room will contribute to all of that. And once again, I thank you very, very much for this opportunity and this honor. Bless you, and thank you to all of our veterans who are with us tonight and online. Thank you again, Rabbi.
I don't know, I wasn't planning on doing this, but something came up recently. I have to be very careful how I express this so the individuals are not offended that I'm bringing it up. But it might be something that we can experience that if not some nefarious cause, but someone we know, someone in our friends or family who posts something that we find wrong, objectionable, maybe their view on Israel is different than ours, okay? But if we find it very offensive, find it to be bordering on possibly anti-Semitic, what should we do? So I will tell you, in the real life situation, somebody did comment and saying that this person should not have posted this information. That, and by the way, everyone on their Facebook page saw this, and then that person that they commented to said, if you don't like it, just scroll past it. Just scroll past it. Like, ignore it. Mind your own business. How do we deal with something like, I know you may not have all the answers, but what would you do in that situation? I know I'm not being overly specific, but I think I can get in trouble for being too specific here.
Well, I understand, but that's really the kind of thing you handle privately. I think what it then, if that's then handled on online forums and in a Facebook discussion, well, then all that does is generate more animosity. People feel threatened, they feel bullied, they feel whatever term they want to use. Right. And so that's the sort of thing that needs to be handled very privately, and you just hope, again, through something that's actually called counterspeech. Right? One of the answers to hate speech is a theory called counterspeech, that you actually respond with facts, with calm, and with reason. And you hope that can work.
So don't do it online.
No.
Okay, so
too many of us, too many people live too much of their lives online.
Okay,
let's keep it.
So pick up the phone.
Let's keep it private.
Call
yes.
Call up.
Yeah, pick up a phone. Could you imagine?
Yeah. But I like that. What is it? You called it counter?
Counter speech.
Counter speech. Is there somewhere I could find?
There actually is a book.
Do I have to go to ChatGPT to find out?
You
that?
do
Okay.
not. No, you do not. And ChatGPT did not write that speech either. So I just want to say for the record. No, there's actually books on it, an entire theory that's actually known as counterspeech.
Awesome. I think we need to master that as well.
All right.
Thank you.
Hey, my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for not sitting in the shady part of the tent and looking out for us and running towards the need. Thank you, Dr. Quinlan. We continue now as we turn back to our prayer books to page 586, and we rise together for the Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורם עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא
You may be seated. We turn now to page 598. As we remember those who have died in recent days during this period of Shloshim. And as we heard a little earlier from Susan, we remember Carol Shea and Susan Crystal, dear friends of Susan and Stan. We also remember Marlene Smith, beloved mother of Michelle Levitin. And are there others whose names we can include for those who have died in recent days? Either those online or in person. We also remember those who have died at this season in years past at this their yahrzeit. We remember Brunice Briner, Robert T. Cherry, Nathaniel Cohen, Manasseh Elson, Randy Fisher, Ruth Fleckman, Harold Fleckman, Dorothy Greenstein, Beth Hyman, George Kaufman, Fermet Kellerman, Eli Kessler, Millicent Landau, Richard Levy, Henry Levy, Abraham Lieberman. Where's Karen? Tell me, I don't have. Elvira Reisner. Anne Rutkowitz, Stanley Silver, Edith Smolin, Ruth Yesner, and Wallace Young. And again, I ask if there were any names not said for your site that you would like said. We also add Burton Monash. And of course, we add the names in our hearts of all of those who perished in the Shoah. not 6 million as a number, but 6 million mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters and friends and cousins. At the bottom of the reading that we read on page 522 is a very important insight to keep in mind when we say the Kaddish, especially at Kristallnacht and Yom HaShoah. Although we here at Temple Judea say every Friday night we include those who perished in the Shoah. We say, as we light these candles and as we remember them, we assume the role of mourners for the 6 million Jews who died. Even those of us who did not lose any members of our family at the hands of the Nazis, we stand as mourners for the 6 million. We also take time each time we say the Mourner's Kaddish to remember those who have died defending our country, not just on Memorial Day or on Veterans Day, but each Friday night. And we remember all of those who perished serving the Jewish people in the land of Israel. And so we now turn to page 598, and the mourners among us rise along with all of those who would say the words of the Kaddish as we say together, Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, b'alma divrach chirutei v'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei techol Beit Yisrael, b'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'amei amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shemei t'kudisha b'richu, le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tu'ishbechata v'nechemata, ta'amiram v'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all the bereaved. And let us say, Amen.
V'imru, 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 amen. V'imru, 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 amen.
You may be seated. We continue now with some important announcements of upcoming events. There are certain very special things coming up. It is our honor to call forward Bob Baker, President of Temple Judea, to share with us some of those important things. Some of them sooner than others.
Yes, very important things. First of all, thank you, Rabbi, thank you, Cantor, thank you, Steve, for the beautiful service tonight. Thank you, Dr. Quinlan, for your informative talk and giving us things to think about. I know they're a little late, but you should have received your invites for the annual Cantor concert, which we've been telling you about since, it seems forever. It's coming up this Sunday, a week from Sunday, 4 o'clock, so make sure you go online, buy your tickets. Tickets are still available. We had to shut down the journal ad submissions so we could get those playbills printed. So if you haven't submitted your ad yet, I'm sorry, we just cannot accept any more. We're at the printer. So thank you if you have already submitted your ads. We also have a special dinner on December 12th. Shabbat dinner, Hanukkah dinner. We'll be catering from Ben's, and we'll be inviting all the children from Mitzvah Academy, and we hope you can join us for that as well. And a very special event on Wednesday, January 7th. We've invited Murray Hillboy, an internet sensation, to come do his thing for the congregation. So we're excited about that as well, and you can sign up online for that. That's Wednesday evening. I think the program starts at 8 o'clock. You can look in your week ahead to see more information. Our Social Action Committee is collecting coats and hats and gloves and sleeping bags for its annual fall coat drive. How did sleeping bags fit in there? I don't. So bring anything you have that's warm and you're not using to the temple no later than November 18th. Which day? What day is November 18th? Next Wednesday. Okay. Coat sorting is on November 20th and delivery is on November 23rd. And the Social Action Committee is asking for volunteers if you're available. You can please contact Alicia or Rita Marcus and read your week ahead. And join us for ONA gift services, and that's about it. Thank you.
So we were just conferring back there. We have something to add, an amendment to. So even though people can't get their ads in to the playbill.
Right, because it has
They
to go to
can
the printer.
still, if they want.
Yeah, because Steve said he can do an insert.
Oh, I thought you were saying they could still make the contribution.
Yeah,
for
and there can be an
that.
insert in the playbill.
Okay.
Yeah, there can still be an insert in the playbill. What?
All right, so
It's true. But it may not go home with people.
what else do we have?
We've got, we're doing, the candy's in your room. This, yes or no?
Oh, really?
First Friday of the month. Do we have any birthdays? November birthdays. Oh, Karen,
I may have celebrated a birthday in...
you did. Oh
Yes.
my God, I can't even
Oh.
believe it. I forgot.
No, I didn't expect you to.
No, but I do know because I sang to you. Okay, so Rabbi has his birthday too.
You're going to make everyone jealous. I got my own personal happy birthday recording.
True. Okay, so we have Rabbi Karen. Anyone else?
Any anniversaries in the month of November? Wedding anniversaries. Okay, so who else, Karen?
Okay, so Karen, come on up. Do we have the candy still? I think it's in your office.
Why am I the only one who brought candy?
Yeah, where's all the Halloween? Do you know that?
No, we're not going into that.
Okay.
I have new candy.
They ate all my Halloween candy. Shocking. Yeah, there's one piece left. One. So if you have any leftover Halloween candy, we keep it for the birthday treasure chest. So bring it in. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Karen and Rabbi. Happy birthday to you. Yom Uledet Sameach. Yom Uledet Sameach. Yom Uledet Sameach. Yom Uledet Sameach. You take it,
These were
son?
the good candies that I brought.
Okay, good. Now we have that. So bring, if
Okay.
you have, please bring. And we're going to conclude with Hatikva. So if everybody would rise,
Page is that on?
678, I believe. Is it? Oh, am I right? You know all the pages. It is.
Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, God of our mothers and fathers who have gone before us, let us remember what they did and what they taught us, so we might be inspired to take their wisdom and bring it into the world. Adonai Ozle Amo Yitein, Adonai Yivarechet, Amo Shalom. God has given us strength. May we use our strength to one end for the purpose of peace. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Steve Belfer. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everybody on Zoom. See you next Sunday, friends, on Zoom. See you next Sunday.